Hair loss is organ failure. As a matter of fact, hair loss is symbolic of internal organ failure. Let's talk. This is Back to the Barber, where scalp conditions are met and maintained. It's your host, AQBS, but most importantly, a fellow client. Hope all is well today, gents. The primary topic today is it's not just hair loss, it's organ failure. Seconded by other relevant information and commentary. So let's get started. When I first started out, it was purely for aesthetic purposes. To be honest with you, I felt like went bald a little too early, and it's really true because it's not really a natural phenomenon. We call it a natural phenomenon. They say it's final form. When you turn 25, you're supposed to be bald. That's final form. It's a fallacy. It's a bad theory, but I know how they got to that point. At this point, but as you kind of get into hair loss a little bit more, you start trying to figure out how to reverse it. If you're an omega scalp, you're a woman listening to this, then it's nothing you think about. One day you look in the mirror, you say, well, my hair looks a little shabby, I need to start getting a better conditioner. If you're not really thinking about, if you're not looking in the mirror and being thrown off by your appearance, then you really are fine with it. The minute you start looking in the mirror and you start being thrown off by what you see, and you start, using a comb and combing through it and looking at your scalp and things of this nature and turning to the side, then you realize there's a problem. Okay. And for many of us, we don't see the problem until it's really a big problem, because hair loss is slow, it's chronic, it's acute. Even if you don't have male pattern balding, if you just have some sort of alopecias, normally they come by slowly, and it always starts from the inside. But see, eventually over time, when you begin to try to reverse male pattern balding, or what you guys refer to as androgenetic alopecia, then you start figuring out it's not at all easy, number one. Number two, it's really not about hair growth at all. When you have nothing there, or a villus hair there, or a miniaturized hair there, it's a totally different beast. At this point now, you're not really dealing with hair at all. Now you're dealing with a follicle. Fast forwarding to where I'm at now, I realize I'm not dealing with a follicle. In other words, a little part of the body that produces hair. I'm actually dealing with an organ. An organ, just like any other organ in a body, it has its purpose. It needs things from the body in order to produce or provide a service to the body, and that's what a follicle is. And I believe that follicles on the scalp are feminine. In other words, they rather be associated with estrogen and treated as feminine. In other words, nothing harsh, no harsh chemicals, right? No hard tugging, no too much heat, no toxins and parasites, no hard steroids, no stress. And if you consider that the follicles are feminine, then it's very easy to begin to optimize them if you treat them as such. But most people, women included, treat the follicles as if they are masculine. Don't care about the products you put in there. Don't care about the amount of tension you cause with the different hairstyles, the wigs, the type of synthetic things that kind of go in on your head when it comes to pieces and weaves and things of this nature. Not just that, hairsprays. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. A lot of times we treat the hair as if it is not feminine. Now, hairs are tough. I should say follicles are tough, but they still have their limits. And one of the things that they really have a hard time with is stress. Rather the stress is traction, rather the stress is of some sort of parasite or protein that's behaving as if it is attacking a follicle, because it has its own immunity. Therefore, it is kind of like the placenta. That works out fine if you have a normal scalp with normal problems, right? Everyone has bacteria, pathogens in the scalp. When it crosses a certain threshold, then that immune privilege of the follicle becomes non-existent to the body. It says, you know what, you haven't handled this, so I'll take over. Once the body takes over, something gets into motion. It's like a domino effect. This is when you get hair loss. This is when you get thinning. This is when you get fibrosis and calcification. And that is for women and men, right? Men are just more, it's way more magnified due to the amount of DHT we have in our systems, or testosterone. So, in general, you are not dealing with hair loss. You are dealing with organ failure. I call male pattern balding or androgenetic alopecia the omen, because it's symbolic of what's going on internal. If your hair falls off your head, then the hair within the body is also having a problem. The hair within the body is what moves blood. It is what absorbs circulation and nutrients. It is very essential to the other organs to have hairs, villus hairs and villi. So if you're having a problem with the hair on top of your head, even as a woman, then you rest assured you are having some internal problems that will manifest eventually. However, you would see that I have, I don't know, some sort of heart issue, when actually you've been having that heart issue, because when your head started becoming shiny and your forehead was getting bigger, your heart also was having a problem. It is not just hair loss. It is organ failure. Now, these follicles are organs. That's what they are. And if they fail, they're telling you that other organs are being affected too. So pay it no mind when people say, well, just get an S&P tattoo, or just get a hair transplant, or just get the barber to hook you up and make it look like you're not receding, or that you're having just, your mature line. There's no such thing as a mature hairline. When you look at your wife or your girlfriend or your sister and she was in high school, and then you look at her now that she's 35 years old, how did her hairline change? Now, if her face got bigger, you see that. But if she stayed pretty much the same type of weight, it's not going to change that much where it's so drastic. She'll just look older, right? Obviously, everything changes. Even your legs change, your feet change as you get older. But the point is, do you have, you have baby feet, but once you get grown and you're 20 years old, you don't say I have 20-year-old feet, and the next thing you know, you have, I have grown feet now. We don't say such things. We don't say I have grown eyebrows now, or mature eyebrows. No. You say this is your eyebrows. Obviously, if you get older, your eyebrows change as a man, right? Based on testosterone. But remember, all hair loss is symbolic of something greater and more insidious that's going on within you. And that's what you have to remember. It is not just hair loss. It is not just your scalp. It is not just DHT. You have to look at what's going on internally. It's probably one of three things: immunity, immune response, nutrition deficiency, and some sort of hormonal imbalance. That's just what it is, man. So this is my video for today. Hopefully something here has helped you to halt hair loss and or restore it. If so, hit the like up, subscribe. If not, give another video a chance. I'm pretty sure you'll find something interesting. But if I can do it, you all can do it too. Let's get you back to the point.